and gentlemen, happy International Human Rights Day. On behalf of Amnesty International Nigeria, we are very happy to be able to partner with Tabitha Empowerment Centre today to share a few words to encourage us all about human rights. I'd like to greet our royal fathers present, our mothers, our fathers, and of course the executive director and her team for putting together such a fantastic program. So what is International Human Rights Day and why do we celebrate it? For our fathers who were around when there was the World War, we're talking about World War II now, we had a situation where the entire world was fighting. They were on different sides, whether the Germans, the Russians, the Americans, the British, everyone was at war. So in when the war ended, the Second World War ended, they decided that they cannot have another war. There's so many things were happening that led to grievous human rights violations. People lost their lives, people lost their homes, people were injured, some with lifelong injuries, people lost their sight, their limbs, people were refugees, IDPs. And they said, let's come together and draft a contract that will bind all of us in terms of how human beings should behave. And that led to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which was eventually passed in 1948. How many people here were born then? So none of us were around then, even our royal fathers. Me, I wasn't there. Sister, were you there? So none of us were there. That was 74 years ago, in December on this date. And over time, this has become the standard for all nations. Everybody agreed, whether they were China, Russia, South Africa, whatever. Nigeria was not yet, had not gotten independence then. But when Nigeria got independence, Nigeria also acceded to this particular contract. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights is basic human dignity. The theme for this year is dignity, freedom, and justice. The 30 articles in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights the first article talks about all human beings are born free and equal. It doesn't matter where you come from, it doesn't matter the religion you profess, it doesn't matter whether you're a man or a woman, whether you're a child or an adult, you have human rights. And then it comes down to break the various rights that all human beings have as of rights. Fundamental right to life, right to movement, right to freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of association, right to work, right to good health, right to have sustainable environment, right to even leisure is contained in this Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So it's from this basis that our Constitution and all the various international treaties that we know emanated from. So whether it's the CEDAW, the Convention for the Elimination of Discrimination Against Women, whether it's the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, or one on Social and Economic Rights, whether it's the African ones that we know, the African Charter of Human and People's Rights, or the African Charter on the Rights of the Child, all of them emanated from the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So 1948, 74 years ago, and present day now, would you say that the ideals that the leaders then had in mind has been achieved? In Nigeria today, we are facing the largest insecurity crisis that we have ever experienced. IDP camps are filling with people every day. Those of us that live in Abuja, we know that, can even go back 5, 6, 7 years ago. It wasn't this cramped, it wasn't this populated. People are running from areas of conflict and moving to areas of safety. But even Abuja itself has not been spared. And we are currently evolving a situation whereby Nigeria has the largest number of poor people in the world. We're already large. They say we're 200 million. Next year, the government says they want to count us. They there's going to be census. Maybe we might know our reason. But for now, say we're 200 million. So you can imagine the country of 200 million. If they say 100, about 130 million of those people are living in poverty. That is a crisis. So that means that some of the resources that we're getting from Nigeria, whether it is the oil, whether it's the gold, whether it's the gold and whatever precious stones that they are mining across the country, majority of the people are not benefiting from it. Then the fact that people are able to enjoy and managing themselves, the security will not allow them to go too far. Those that are moving their cattle from place to place, the security will not allow them to move from one end to the other. Those that are fishing, the same thing. Then we have environmental challenges again. I'm sure the son we're expressing today, our parents will tell us they didn't wish to express it. It means that the world is changing in response to the way we look after it. In the way pollution has now become the order of the day. Companies doing whatever they like, and government looking the other side. Does that mean we should lose hope? We cannot afford to. The most important thing is that we need to remind ourselves of the foundations of why we are together, why we are in existence, and find a purpose in that. We also need to push back. We need to fight for what it is that is of our rights. Because if me, as an individual, respects the rights of another person, and that person respects the other person's rights, we will not get to the situation that we are in today. And if something happens, you know how it is like in the family, we sometimes rub ourselves the wrong way, we disagree, we fight. And then when they bring it to your attention, you say, I am sorry. But at the same time, when you commit something, we punish you. If we respect those simple principles, we will not be in the situation that we are in today. Many people have created this instability in our country. But have they been punished? No. And this is what has led to what we call impunity. People doing whatever they like, however they like, whenever they like. And then those that people have small coins in their pockets terrorize their own fellow human beings. So as we reflect on the theme for the year, which is dignity, freedom, and justice, it's important for you to ask yourself, am I living a life of dignity? Do I respect other people's dignity? The play and I will call it docu dance that the young people displayed a few minutes ago reflects some of the challenges which organizations like Tabitha are rising up against, which is violence, gender-based violence. It happens in homes, it happens in schools, it happens in institutions, at the workplace, on the streets. How do we combat that? Do we keep silent when we see these rights being violated? Nobody likes to be beaten. And if you are doing it in the form of oppression, intimidation, threats, it means that you've created a situation whereby the person being beaten is not dignified. What can we do differently to ensure that the voices of women who suffer these crimes are heard, and that the perpetrators, the violators, are actually cautioned, and where they do not need word, are punished? Very often, because of our cultural values, we tend to shield this sort of crimes, this sort of violations, by saying that it does not concern me, it's family matter. But we are saying now that if we don't deal with the issues, it comes back to haunt us. If that woman dies as a result of the beating, the children become motherless. And then there's a risk that they can become street children if their father is not able to look after them. Children that grow up seeing their mothers and sisters being beaten grow up to become abusers themselves. Women who are beaten and suffer the trauma, some of them grow up to also become abusers as well. So the cycle of abuse continues. And that is not our culture, and that does not represent our values. The second thing focuses on freedom. Usually when we talk of freedom, everybody feels it means I can freely do whatever I want, whenever I want, however I want it. But freedom in this context means that nobody has the right to keep you, to force you to agree to their point of view. You can be convinced, but they cannot force you. So, for example, when we look at the right to work, you should be able to work and get paid for the work that you do or the service that you provide. Nobody has the right to make you a slave or keep you in perpetual servitude. Another thing when we look at freedom is freedom of expression, which I'm sure many of our young people are very familiar with, because you hear they say children are supposed to be seen and not heard. But when you talk about every human being, even a child that cries, he cries because he's hungry, he cries because he needs his diapers changed. The same thing, we are created to express ourselves, to say our mind. And when you say your mind, it means that people can understand you and you can understand them. When we begin to put limitations on that right, it means people begin to hide things from us. We should be able to have an open conversation, and in that process, guide, advise, and lead. But at the same time, it doesn't mean you should just go about insulting people and attacking people. Everything must be done within the rules and regulations of the country, or in this case, of our values. The final point is justice. For us, many of us see justice as going to court. We have a case, we go and complain to the courts, and they will help us solve the problem. Or I'll call police. Police will come and meet my neighbor, will try and resolve it amongst ourselves, or they will lock the person up and things like that. But justice means fairness, and it means how do you advise people on issues of critical importance at home, at work, and also in our various communities. And in cases where we need to go to court, because there are some cases that you cannot solve by yourselves, and or you should not even solve by yourself because it's going to infringe on the rights of other people. How do we support those who need to go to court? And I'm going to use the examples of gender-based violence survivors again. When finally a victim or survivor of gender-based violence says, enough is enough, I want to finally pursue justice. How do we, as a community, support this person? Do we say endure, manage, we are not the first person? Or are we willing to encourage, to take the confidence to call the perpetrator to order? Sometimes, some of these abusers, all they need to know is that people are watching and that this is not permissible in our society. But when it gets to a point where somebody is injured, is hurt, then it means you have to face the law. In Nigeria today, we have what we call the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act, the VAP Act. It was passed, signed into law by President Jonathan before he left office in 2015. And nearly all the states in Nigeria now have a VAP law. Because Abuja FCT is federal capital territory, we know that we are struggling to implement the provisions of the act. Because even when everybody agrees, yes, what this man did is wrong, people do not want to support the survivors' injustice. And until we can take that bold step to ensure that everyone can live a life of dignity, freedom, and justice, we will continue to have to face this in our society. So what are the next steps? At Amnesty International, one of the ways to encourage people to participate in human rights is to learn more about it, human rights education, what we're doing today, to share them, lead them in project purpose. But more importantly, if, like the point I made at the beginning, we all decide I'm going to respect the other person's rights, then my own right will also be equally protected. I'd like to end with a quote from one of the people who was involved in the drafting of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Her name is Eleanor Roosevelt. She was the wife of the then US president at that time. And when they asked her why human rights, why should human rights be the foundation of this contract that you want all the world leaders to abide by, she said, where after all do universal rights begin? In small places close to home, so close and so small that they cannot be seen on any maps of the world. Yet, they are the world of the individual person, the neighborhood he or she lives in, the school or college, the nation. Unless these rights have meaning there, they have little meaning anyway. Without concerned citizen action to hold them close to home, we shall look in vain for progress in the larger world. Thank you very much, and wishing every one of us a happy International Human Rights Day.
Once again, please put your hands together.